Yes.
All right, here we go. Okay, so we're going to go live on Facebook and sharing it on my Radiant Astrology. Does it feel like a Friday to you? I don't know. It almost feels like the middle of the week still.
It
Work
no
week.
longer feels like a day. I think that's the interesting thing about doing these things like back to back for days in a row is I forget entire days.
Right, exactly. We just know today's day 4, right?
Day four, yeah, that's it.
Day 4, anatomy of a great reading. Oops, I might have not spelled that right. Let me just make anat. Let me see. Anatomy. Okay, go live. Okay, so we should be going live. So welcome everyone to day 4 of our 4-part series. This means this is the last day of our series on Go Pro with your spiritual gifts. And today is a master class on the anatomy of a great reading with our special guest expert, Erin Ashley Carity. Hi, Erin Ashley.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Christina. Thanks for having me.
She's so special. The universe gave her 3 names.
You know what's funny? I actually legally changed my name to exactly what it is.
It's funny. I was sending you a email, one to you and one to my other partner that I work with, Lucy Ann Shard. And I was like, hi, Erin Ashley and Lucy Ann. And it's like, it sounds like 4 people, but it's really 2. I
Yes,
love the double
yes.
name. So anyway, I'm super excited for today's masterclass because not only are we going to learn the anatomy of a great reading from Erin Ashley Carty, and when we talk about readings, this can be anything from an astrology reading to a tarot to psychic energy healing, because there's some very specific techniques that Erin Ashley has developed that can really help us to move into these spaces with our full empowerment. And I think that's so important, especially when we're first getting started out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do a sacred ceremony, which I love to do whenever I'm doing any kind of offering. It's calling the souls into you. And so that is a way to really make sure that you're an energetic frequency match for the clients that you're calling to you. And we'll get to that in a bit. First, though, we have some exciting giveaway. Let me see. Should I announce mine first? I'm going to announce mine first because mine's like and you'll save yours for later maybe, or are you ready to
I'm
go?
going to go ahead and announce yours first, and then I'm going to announce mine second. We're going to get a lot of excitement, and then
Okay.
people are going to be emailing me. Go
Yay.
ahead. You
Okay,
first.
so we have given away, I mean, Erin Ashley is so freaking generous. Plus, she's got such great, like a library of amazing content. Um, and she first offered to give away 3 of her, it's the psychic mechanic course, right? That's the name,
Yes.
because I know you have different names for everything. The psychic mechanic course, which is a $97 value. It's an awesome course to help you sharpen your intuition. And on our Instagram giveaway, she gave 3 away. And I'm announcing the winners: Arwen Love Messages, Sacred Flames, and Alex J. Greenwood. You each will get this awesome course. Thank you so much for all your enthusiasm, for sharing and tagging your friends. And this is fun. This is the first time I ever actually did an Instagram giveaway, and it feels really good. So maybe we'll do more. So make sure you follow at Radiant Astro on Instagram and at Rev Carty on Instagram too. And congrats to all the winners. Thank you, Allie.
Congratulations.
Um,
Congratulations,
oh,
everyone.
Arwen, are you on? Yay, Arwen Love Messages. Congratulations.
Yay.
So, Erin Ashley, what special gifts do you have?
Okay, so you've already mentioned the Psychic Mechanics course, which is a great intro course to your psychic abilities. What I gave away as well, and what I'm focusing on now, is the Spiritual Mechanic Foundations course. This is basically an entire library of undergraduate level courses for metaphysical growth and development. And it is brand new this year. And so some of the courses are still being developed, but it's 12 courses in one, and it's a $500 value. Now, for those of you who have been with us this entire week, you know that in order to enter, you had to follow along for every single day, fill out your PDF and your play sheet, and then email it to me by 10 a.m. Pacific this morning. And so there was a bit more engagement was required, right? Like show up, really, really be present. And the reason we developed it this way is because we wanted to honor those of you who are really getting in touch with your gifts and fully participating. So the winner is Danielle Sinclair Whitby. So if that's you, I will email you everything you need.
Danielle Sinclair Whitney.
So congratulations.
I know her. Congratulations.
I saw her on earlier. So congratulations. And I do want to remind everyone that if you've been following along and you fill out your play sheet with all 4 pages now, if you haven't already sent me your filled in play sheet, I will still give you the free PDF on how to get your first paying client as a spiritual practitioner. I go from all the steps like scripts that I give my private clients, all the way to what tech you need with links to tutorials and everything. So it's a bit of a big PDF. It's basically an ebook at this point. It's 35 pages. Make sure to email me with your filled in play sheet in order to get to that. Okay.
Yay. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Congratulations, Danielle. Okay.
Oh, that's great. And you know what? I mean, I never knew there was so much to learning about how to connect with your intuition and your guides and to get more clarity in that space, that energetic space. But like I just had a reading recently with Erin Ashley, and wow, it just like fills in all of these blind spots, that really comes through really going in depth. And you said this was like a undergraduate level course pretty much you're putting together. Well, the GoPro as a spiritual, with your spiritual gifts is really takes you to a whole other level. So I can't wait till we get to that. So make sure you stay to the end because we are going to be inviting you to check out the Pro Psychic Mechanics course. It's open for enrollment now. It closes next week, next Wednesday. You have until the 27th to sign up, and we have all the details on that. You'll learn all about how to, be a pro in this amazing experience of being I call it a soulpreneur, working with the soul and the spirit, and offering these sacred gifts to the world. So definitely stick around for that. And also, before we get started, I wanted to talk a little bit about, the anatomy of a great psychic reading. Well, this is a great reading, whether it's you're using your intuition or whether you're using astrology or tarot, using the techniques where it's in astrology, it's understanding the symbols, in tarot, it's understanding the deck you're using and the symbols of that, that is a skill. But really, when you enter into a space with a supplicant other, someone who is coming to you for help. And in astrology, we tend to think, and even clients tend to think consciously, they're just coming just for some information. But actually, people usually don't go, they're usually not desperate enough to come to an astrologer until they actually have some kind of vulnerability. Maybe they're really afraid of making the wrong decision in their life. Maybe they're really lost and don't know what to do with their life. Some people are really at that level and understand they're in a vulnerable place. But even people that aren't consciously aware, they come to you and they're entrusting you with caring for their spirit for that hour or 2 hours or whatever. And it's so important that your energy is commanding the space. You have good boundaries, and yet they're open enough for you to be, holding the space for this person that really needs your help, really needs your expertise. So it's not even about being more and more skilled at what you do, from a technical standpoint. That is one part of it. The other really significant part where you're going to actually grow your business through people who just love being in a space with you are when you can actually show up with your energy in the right frame so that you can engage in that on that level. And that is where Erin Ashley is such an awesome expert. So Erin Ashley, unless you have anything else, you want to go ahead and start your sharing with your lesson.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I do want to mention something. We've got some people in the comments who are asking where to get the play sheet and where to get the replays. If you just joined us, a couple people mentioned that they just joined today, this morning. So they've already got, so if you, Zora Gale already shared the link in there, so you can go ahead and go directly to the play sheet. But the download page, I will absolutely have that emailed to you after this call. So if you're registered and you already got your welcome email, the link is in there as well.
And I'll just say that the link is bit.ly/GoProSpirit. And that's where you register for this whole thing, and it will give you all the details you need in the emails. So I'll go ahead and share that in the comments as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Christina. So I do want to talk about what, and you'll see me looking down every once in a while. That's me looking at my notes because I want to make sure that I get all the details here. And I want to talk about the things that you want to do in your sessions, both before, during, and after, that allow you to deliver an excellent reading for people. And if it's again, Christina covered basically all the bases. If it's an energy healing, there's still things you want to do before, during, and after. And the only thing that will change a little bit is the middle. It's the during. That's going to depend on your specific gifts and the type of session you want to deliver, etc. But most of the other steps are going to be fairly consistent across the board. So the very first thing you do before you start your reading or your spiritual practice is you create your systems. We talked about this yesterday as the phase 2 of the 4 phases. And this is where you set up your systems. You have your scripts, you know exactly what you want everything to look like, and you have that all organized. Now, there's a very important reason that you want to have those systems and scripts. Sometimes when we say that, it can feel, especially to those of us who are deeply spiritual, like, oh, systems? How is that spiritual? How is that going to connect? And I want to really explain to you, in case you have that hesitation, that all you're doing is creating sacred boundaries and sacred expectations so that your clients can receive the absolute most out of what you have to offer. When you have systems in place, you free up your energy so that you can focus on cultivating and delivering your work, and you create appropriate, healthy expectations of your clients and your sitters so that they can just simply know exactly what they're doing. They're not spending their time worrying or having uncertainty. They can show up and receive what you're giving fully. So that's why we have it. It has a spiritual purpose as well as a practical one. The practical purpose is it saves you time and energy. And that's fabulous. Time and energy is good. We like to keep it, or rather utilize it wisely. And so you don't need to be repeating the same steps over and over and over again when you have appropriate systems in place. So again, if today's your first day, there will be a link that I'll send out where you can see the other 3 days as well. And that will stay up until the 27th. So you've got about 5-6 days to go through that. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, so then before your session, you want to clear your energy. You always want to make sure that you have a clear vessel. Yes.
I just wanted to see if our attendees will let us know first how they clear their energy. Do they have a certain way that they do it? Let us know in the chat box. How do you tend to clear your energy before you go into a session, if at all? First, I also want to say that a lot of people are loving the hair today. Hair tea. Let's see, who was it said? Robin Cox said, love that kink today. And Leslie Joyce said, beautiful mermaid hair today. So let us know. So, okay, here we go. Andrea says, I say a prayer and do a grounding meditation. That's
Beautiful.
really beautiful. And Zana said, smudge with sage, prayer, call in my guides and helpers. Arwen says, I always do a grounding exercise first. Allie says, I ground and enter with prayers and visualization, and then I do at least 10 minutes of transcendental meditation. Wow.
Beautiful.
I actually just had my husband sage the whole house and sage me because I was doing a 2-hour past life meditation earlier today, and it makes such a difference. And the other thing I like to do is take salt rocks and put it and just banish any negative energy and send it out the front door and the back door, and put salt around the door. You know, I have to sweep it up later, but it really is amazing how it just uplifts the vibration in the house. Let's see. And then Robin Cox says it varies, all the above and water baths with salt. Yes, salt. But, you know, salt is incredibly ancient and sacred. And so anywhere we can use salt, that can really help to cleanse the energy field. Katrina says, I encase myself in a bubble of white light, call in my souls and guides, draw dicomio. Oh, I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is, Erin Ashley?
I do not.
Okay.
That is,
maybe Katrina will share that with us. And then just a
simple.
couple more. Rana says, I go into remembrance practice, apply and or diffuse EO essential oils. Yeah, I love essential oils and Reikis. And a lot of people are saying they do Reiki too. That's awesome. Okay, great. So a lot of people know the significance of clearing your energy before a session.
Yes. Yes. And it's wonderful. And I love the variety that we have here too, because one thing that's really important is to honor your own natural way of working with your energy as you do this work, because the more you get into this, the more you will find people have very strong opinions about what literally everyone should or shouldn't do. And you want to honor how your body mind processes this energy. So you always want to clear and center your energy before a session. And you also want to raise your vibration. For me, what I do is I create this space where I am basically a vessel. So even if, and I have had things happen where something borderline emergency happened 15 minutes before a session where I'm on the verge of tears and really stressed. And my role is to clear the energy so I'm fully present and in this calm, open space by the time I start the session. And I've been doing this for 8 years. So at this point, I can do that on the fly. My first year, I would have rescheduled the session because I know that I did not have the skill set the first year. I hadn't practiced it enough to be able to do it from panic to calm and open in 15 minutes. But you just want to get to that space. And then, especially if you're doing a psychic reading, you want to ask for a message for the person that you're reading for. And this is really important, especially whenever you are first starting to do this professionally. Sometimes your guides are going to give you an image or a message that you don't understand. And it's really easy to turn that into something to take personally, or, oh no, my gifts aren't where they need to be. The best phrase you can learn and use with your guides if you don't understand the message is, I don't understand. Could you give it to me a different way? I don't understand. Could you give it to me a different way? And then the guides will give you the same message, but a variation of it. And from there, even if you need to do that 2 or 3 times, you will see the pattern. It will start to emerge, and you'll be able to understand how to move forward with that. And so from there, if you want to look through the energy to see if there's anything energetically that needs to be addressed. Now, this is especially if you have trained in the energy systems and the chakra system. And if not, you can just take a glance and see if anything energetically pops out at you. But you want to do that first, because whenever you start your session with your sitter, you want to be in a space where you feel like you have a good grasp of where they're at, and really understand the energy that you're going to be interacting with. And so you do that first. And right before you start the session, you just do a quick review to make sure you know what you want to cover in what order, most likely. I generally start with the message unless there's something really, really, really important with the energy that has to be addressed. Every once in a while, something in the energy will be basically like a red light blinking. It's going to be giving me emergency signals. So even though the message is the most important thing I want to communicate, I know that that individual isn't going to be able to receive that message until we address the energy. And so I'll start with the energy if necessary, but I tend to default to the message first. Okay.
Can I get some
Absolutely.
clarity on that? So there's the energy and the message, and you want to sort of determine which one is right for this session, or
Both are going to be part of the session, most likely. If you're giving someone a reading, you're going to be communicating about their life, and that's going to include their energy that they bring to
what
it.
they brought
And
in.
so, yes.
Okay.
So you want to get a message because that's the most important thing that they need to know right now. And then you also want to take a quick look at the energy. You don't have to do a deep dive with your pre-tune, what you do before you show up. But you do want to know, is there anything that needs to be addressed, or does anything stand out to you? Does that clarify?
Yeah, let's and those of you who are on live, and I'm also seeing comments in the Facebook on Facebook Live. Kat says she uses incense to cleanse and visualize a shield and talks to her guides out loud. Ignacio says he does Kundalini yoga tune in and says a prayer.
Excellent.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is
And so if you all have any questions or need any clarification, go ahead and let us know in the chat box. Otherwise, keep going, Erin, Ashley. I think we're all excited to hear more.
excellent. So then I'm going to give you what I do for a phone reading. Now you might choose to do an email reading or have some other type of session set up. So this is really important if you're doing a phone psychic reading, but remember to change the language a little bit depending on what type of session it is. So the very first thing that I want to do whenever I am on the phone to deliver the reading is I want to introduce myself, and I want to tell the person what to expect. So I'm going to pretend to give a reading to Christina right now. I'm going to pretend this is the first time she's ever had a reading from me, and I'm going to do my intro. Hi, Christina. I'm so honored to read for you today. My name is Reverend Erin Ashley Carty, and I have you down for a 30-minute spirit guide reading. And I have already pre-tuned, and I've gotten a message from your guides, and we're going to go ahead and go over that first. I've also noticed some things in your energy that I'd like to talk to you about. Now, after we do that, you'll have time to ask any questions that are on your mind and heart. And if at any point you have a question or you need some clarification, go ahead and just let me know. Go ahead to interrupt me or have me pause. I'm happy to do it. And at the very end, within 24 hours, I will send you a recording of your session. If you don't receive it, there's something that went wrong with the technology, email me and let me know you didn't get it so I can fix that for you. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that's great. Thank you for letting me know what to expect.
So that is my full spiel that if you've had a reading with me before, then it probably sounds familiar. Because this is what I say to everyone. Some variation of that gets said to everyone who has a session with me. And the whole point here is to cultivate expectations. And it also allows you to be in a place of authority. Whenever you're working with someone, and I'm not talking about authority where someone's on a pedestal and above another person. I'm talking about this session is about you leading the way. Right? You are leading the way to the spiritual insights that you are here to impart to your client. And you really, really, really want to cultivate the space so that they know what to expect. They have that in their mind and they feel reassured that you know how to guide them through that process.
I was going to say that the trust that you're establishing from the get-go, and like you said, that it reassures them. It feels like they can, I felt already I can trust you because you're not only focused on this step, but you're focused, the 3 steps away, like at the end of the session and everything. And I really appreciate that. And Rona says, yes, intentions and expectations are critical. Right. So yeah, if you don't have the right expectations, you're setting yourself up for a disappointment. But for me, it's like, I appreciate that someone is in control. So that means I can relax and that I can trust this person.
Yes. Yes. And you will notice that every person that you work with is just a little bit different. Some people will need more reassurance or they'll ask a question that you literally just answered. right? This is normal. That doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong with the reading or your session. It just means that they need more reassurance. So you always want to feel into, is this person asking because they need clarification, or do they need reassurance? Anytime, especially if they have you, if they're asking you something you've already answered.
Oh, I love that, clarification versus reassurance. That's
Mm-hmm.
really important, because the reassurance is, you should expect that. Some people are a little nervous, maybe they've never seen you before, or they've never seen a psychic or an astrologer before. So they may need a little extra hand holding. I love that. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And if they're nervous, then even if you explain things perfectly, they might have so internal chatter that they forget, they didn't hear it fully. And if you allow yourself to do that, Rona just said, it allows the client to feel safe. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yes, because it lets them know that they are fully heard, they're fully seen, and that they can actually relax and allow you to do what you do.
And something just came to me with that, because this way your focus is on making sure they feel safe. You're not
Yes.
focused on how insecure I'm feeling. Am I doing a good job? Da, da, da. You're focused on, they need to feel safe. Because a lot of times, as I see astrologers wanting to show off their expertise, or they're like, or I even in the beginning felt pressure to perform. But when you are concerned about this person feeling safe and feeling clear, then that's where your focus needs to be. And then it frees you up to then focus on the session.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. One of the techniques that is not necessarily appropriate for all spiritual practitioners, but does work really well for psychics, is to basically, whenever you do your tune-in process, you generally will go into a really high vibration. I often have my clients take off their ego for the duration of the reading.
I think for astrologers, you'd need to have like a super extra powerful ego remover. Just kidding. I love astrology.
You can do it multiple times. At the very beginning, like I'd take it off, and then 2 seconds later, it'd be back on. It's just like, why? So it's completely normal to have to do it a couple times, especially as you're doing this for the first couple times. A little bit repetitive, but you know what I mean? Like as you do this, as you practice this, it gets easier to be fully present with yourself and with your guides. And is there a spray for that? Rona asks. There probably is an essential oil for that. But I highly recommend that you also work with your energy so that you can do it on your own as well. But if essential oils help, hey, use all the tools, right? Use all the tools. Okay. So after you tell everyone what to expect, once you tell your sitter what to expect, then you want to actually deliver the message. And so one important thing is you always want to make sure that the message is empowering, that it gives the power back to the individual, even if it's quote unquote bad news or not what they want to hear. Anytime you are doing a spiritual session, the point is to give them something back that they may have felt like they lost, even if they didn't lose it, even if it's just a perspective shift, right? Whether it's insight on their path and what's coming up for them so they can craft appropriate expectations and make good plans. If it's about their relationship and you have some news that is not something that they really want to hear right now, maybe this guy they're dating isn't that good for them, and it's time for them to really consider increasing their self-worth and doing something different. They may not want to hear it. They may want him to be the one. But you can craft that message in such a way that even though it may be disappointing, they are still in a position where they can have access to their own power in the situation through the message. And you want to consistently look at the messages that you're delivering to make sure that they are giving the power to the individual every time that it makes sense to, which is every time you say something. Okay. Christina, do you have a question or an insight?
Yeah. I wonder if you get a message that maybe you feel like the person either can't handle it, or you don't quite have the skills to know how to deliver it? Is there ever a time when you just realize this isn't meant to be spoken? Like this is something that's
Oh,
coming to
yes.
you? And
Really good
how do you
question.
determine those? Yeah.
I ask. I just ask. It's really simple. This is the piece that I think my students and my grads of the PPM program, which we'll talk about more, they know that this is what I say almost nonstop. Ask your guides, ask your intuition. It's really that simple. So, for instance, if you're on a reading and you get a hit and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can actually communicate this. I don't know if I have the skills, or I don't know if it's even appropriate to communicate. What do I do? So, first off, you always tell your guides the truth, right? And this is so simple. You just say, hey, I'm insecure about telling them this piece of information. Is it necessary to pass this on right now? And then a lot of times the guides will either give you a different piece of information that will lead them in the correct path, or they will say, this is just for your information so that you can continue to hold space for the entirety of this client's experience. And every once in a while, they will say, this is actually really important to talk with them about right now. And then you just say, okay, you're going to have to give me step by step. You know, I've done that with my guides. It was my second practice reading, and I had someone who was a cancer patient who came to me asking whether cancer was going to kill him. And that was my second practice reading ever. So I'd only before this done a couple readings for friends, one practice reading, and then that was it. And I was like, whoa, guides, I do not know how to handle this. This is way out of my depth. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Like, this is my practice session. What do I do? And they said, okay, you can tell him the ways that he can focus on increasing his experience of life. You don't have to tell him the exact answer because that will be revealed to him through time. You know, like it's okay for him to just focus on expanding his ability to be present in life right now. This was not a situation where in that specific instance that he needed to know that definitively. Now, there are other cases where someone,
Can I say a little something on that?
Yes, please.
Because now looking back, I would say, you know, why would this person come and lay such a huge question on someone who is obviously new to this, you know, who's doing a practice? Yeah. And so you kind of, you know, I mean, obviously when you're new, then you're not really thinking about their intention. But, you know, now I would say this person is really just looking for some kind of, you know, just reassurance on, you know, on anything, on their humanity. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you handled it perfectly, but you know, in those moments, if you can just sort of gather your focus back and think, you know, why is this person asking? What is the question beneath the question, really? Yes. Because it's rarely ever just about that question. And one thing I wanted to kind of share is for astrologers, you know, you don't always just blurt out what you see. Like, for instance, I had a male astrologer tell me, are you planning on having a baby? Because if you do, it's not going to survive. Well, I wasn't planning on getting pregnant. I wasn't there for asking that question. And that kind of thing happens a lot with astrology. You don't just say it because you see it. You know, you have to be discerning. And sometimes less information is important. And at least in astrology, you follow the client. You follow what they're asking. You don't just blurt out some potential, because, you know, the astrology chart just shows potential. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot that can come through that potential, but I just wanted to share that. Hopefully it's helpful to somebody.
That's so important. That we have an entire section dedicated to ethics in specifically in psychic readings, but especially in the whole spiritual practitioner space. Like, because, you know, unfortunately, Christina, I have, and I'm sure you have as well, many people who come to me for a reading, and I feel like I'm spending half of the time, instead of giving them appropriate information that would get them to where they want to go, I'm spending half the time cleaning up a mess that a previous psychic made because they didn't deliver either the correct message or they delivered it in such a way it was so disempowering that it got them completely off their center. It got them self-doubt. It increased their feelings of insecurity. It made them feel bad about themselves. It made them doubt their own inner knowing. And that's something you want to avoid. That's why you want to really, as best you can, empower people with every word. Even if it's disappointing news, you can find an empowering way to say it.
Yeah, and I'm seeing in the comments, a lot of people are saying, Trey said this is so important to teach. Andrea is saying, I agree. I think it's all about being in integrity.
Yes.
And Xana says, thank you. Ethics are so overlooked but critical. So we're getting a lot of positive comments.
Yeah.
It speaks to the professionalism in our field, and also this speaks to the insecurity in our field. People say these things out of insecurity, and the more you can that's why Aaron Ashley works so much with confidence and with feeling secure in yourself, because then you're not in this space of having to prove yourself. Again, this work isn't about having to prove yourself. It's about helping someone who's come to you for help.
Thank you for saying that, Christina. I think it's so important to keep, the focus on who it's supposed to be on. And that's the client, that's the sitter. There's this myth out there, and hopefully none of you have bought into it, but that if you start your psychic or spiritual business, then you have to have already done all of your spiritual healing. I've been in this profession for 8 years. I've still got spiritual healing to do and emotional healing to do. And that's fine. I'm perfect, whole, and complete exactly as I am, even with the pieces that I'm actively working on supporting and healing, right? And Christina, do you have anything to add there?
Just that Andrea says, I believe that it's about empowering others. We are simply a conduit to help them remember what they innately know. That's right, because everyone has the divinity within, and they just need help uncovering it and hearing it. And that's what a lot of us do. We are sort of the divination tool for spirit for them. So it's really beautiful. Yep. Thank you, Aaron Ashley. And just want to look at the time. We're like 38 minutes in. I just want to make sure that we have time to do the ceremony and to do
everything else. Yes, we're almost ready. I'm going to tell you now.
I keep interrupting you, but we've got such a great chat going on.
We have. It's too good to skip over the juicier bits. Okay, so you deliver the message. You make sure that you are really, really connected with what you wish to, their empowerment. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second and I had to find those words again. And you want to continue to share any insights as you're guided to, right? Again, keeping the empowerment on them, keeping the focus on them. If you have insecurities about your reading, you can schedule a panic attack for 30 minutes after. It's okay, just delay it, do it afterwards. Chances are by the time you're done, you'll feel really good and you won't even have that anxiety anymore. But if you do, don't worry about it. Focus on the client, focus on your sitter. It's all good. So the other thing that I do recommend you do is to, as best you can, end the session on time. You want to honor your client's time, and you want to honor your time, and you also want to honor your word. Now, if you were with us for day 2, we talked about half booked, fully paid. If you tell people you're doing a 30-minute session and you end up doing an hour session, it's going to make it so much harder to get enough clients because you're basically doubling your workload, and that's really not wise. So you want to end your sessions as close to on time as you can. And so you want to, here's the script that I use. If I look at the time and I've got 2 minutes on the clock, every once in a while I'll have a client who I know is going to be a bit chatty, I'll tell them 5 minutes before. If you have a chatty client who's getting a little distracted every once in a while, tell them 5 minutes before. Everyone else, 2 minutes is fine. So 2 minutes before, I say, we only have a few minutes left. Do you have a final question you would like answered? We only have a few minutes left. Do you have a final question that you would like answered?
Oh, I love that. And Andrea is saying, I like that too. I know a lot of astrology sessions are about an hour long usually, or 90 minutes. So
Yeah.
yeah, for me, I look about 10 minutes before,
Mm.
because that's usually when people say, well, when am I going to find the love of my life, and this and this and this and that, they finally get comfortable enough to ask, something they want to hear. And I usually have to pull them back. And, we only have that 10 minutes. I'm not going to cast a whole new chart for your, potential future love. I don't even do that type of astrology. But, usually in that last bit, they get back into the moment, and
Hmm.
they have all these questions. But that's where I feel like, for me, I have to stand in my power, because usually by that time they've been given a lot of information. More information isn't necessarily going to solve their life. I try to, integrate what we've learned, repeat some of the key points, so that they know that they have it. So when they leave, they actually have a few things they can focus on to take forward in their life, rather than just, I have 10 more million things I need to I need to solve in my life.
Yes. Yes. And that's so important, Christina. One thing that you can do as well is, one thing that I do whenever I was doing email readings is I would always highlight in bold the one specific action that they most needed to take, or the one specific message they most needed to internalize. And it depends on the person, which it is. Some people, there's a message that they need to internalize so they can shift their energy. Other times, they need to get into motion and do the thing. Go do it. And so you want to tell them, remind them. The other thing that often happens is their questions almost always pertain to the message you got at the very beginning. So bring them back. Bring them back to the message whenever it's appropriate to. So if their guides told them to meditate and they're talking about how stressed and how can they balance their schedule, meditation is going to open up the space so that they can actually see which things are unnecessary, right? And so you bring it back to the message. And once it's done, you say, thank you so much for letting me read for you. I'll have your recording for you within the next 24 hours if you're doing a recording. Tell them what to expect, right? Like, that's the whole thing. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. This is what you can expect next. Thank you for your time. And then usually there's a little bit of goodbye, thank you, bye, once or twice, and then you hang up. And then after the reading, switching pages now, we're on page 2. You want to, once again, ground and clear your energy, especially if you are an empath. If you are an energetically sensitive person who is empathic, you will likely feel whatever emotions your client felt. You want to ground your energy. You want to send it back through the earth. You want to really get that energy fully cleared. If you feel like there are any cords that are attached to your energy from that session, you want to gently remove them. Some people prefer to cut them. Some people just unhook them and release them. Do what works for you. It's less important which method you use. It's more important that you do that regularly so that you can just be back in your power. Yes, Christina.
Just wanted to ask in the chat box if anybody had any techniques they especially like with cord cutting. I remember I read in Spirit Junkie once that she cut her cords with some, toxic person through imagining it was like Jesus and Martin Luther King Jr. both had like these swords, these silver swords, and gently cut these cords. And something like that. I just remember it was like so beautiful, because to me, the whole cord cutting idea was always seemed so, I don't know, just seemed so rough. But doing that in a gentle way, but like a real powerful way, to me, that's one technique that helps me. Andrea says she calls upon Archangel Michael. Archangel
Good
Michael.
one.
So
good one. Yeah.
And let's see, Trey said, I recently heard a shaman say, don't cut cords, rather send them back to the light or to the person, as cutting can increase a reaction from the one attaching. I've seen this where you hold up the hands and just say, send it back. That can be a more gentle way. But I feel like if something is hooked into me, I need to unhook that. Or
yes. I'm the same, Christina. I find it's more about releasing the hooks. And for me, personally, it's about stop being curious about their energy once I'm done with the session too. This is really hard for those of us who come into this because We want to be paid to be a little bit energetically nosy. I'm one of those. I really, really love people's energy. I love knowing everything about it. And so I say that with love for myself. But, I need to stop meddling or looking at their energy once the session is done. Let those boundaries exist. Trust the container you've created. And then that way you're not accidentally picking up the course that you just cut or released or sent back or whatever else, you use.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Anne says, I like to either visualize that they dissolve in light or ask Archangel Michael to transform it. And Allie says, I like to cut and clear and do a chakra sound clearing with my favorite brass bell. Oh, I love that.
Love that. Yeah.
Okay. So where are we on this? Great.
Okay. So we definitely want to do a bit of a Q&A check-in. And then if we have time, I'll talk about the other process at the very end. We'll go back to it.
Well,
but I'll give you
the calling the souls in. So are you about ready to do that? Or did you want to see if anybody had any questions at this point? Now, one person asked, do you record the client as well as you during the reading?
Yep.
I mean, for me, I'm on Zoom just like this, so it records us both. And I only send the audio now because the videos used to take up so much room on my computer and everything. And it's just not worth it to me. And nobody's ever really asked me for the video. So I just send the audio recording. And there was a time where I had to use some hotspot Wi-Fi, and that took up so much. I mean, I ended up getting a $2,000 bill for that month, and it was because of all the video I was using. So now I try to just be really careful and delete the video and send the client the audio. That's just me.
Yeah. I use a recording software that integrates with Skype for mine, and I do the same thing. It automatically records, and then I just send it to people afterwards. And it's all about what works best for you. And if you get stuck on the recording or you start to feel insecure about the technology, skip it and deliver readings. That's it.
Yeah. And I've actually, I was trained because I'm a trained coach. It's, coactive experience, like it's me and the client. However, I have started since last year. Now and then I'll offer a one-way reading where it's maybe on one specific, like Chiron and Aries, and I'll record it and it's like just one way, and I'll send the client the recording, and people love that, especially people that, can't quite afford a full reading, or they're just sort of dipping their toe in it. And I started doing that because a friend of mine, Leah Whitehorse, that's the only way she does readings, and she does amazing readings. So, and I've gotten great results from that too. And that can also be a way if you are a little timid and shy at first, maybe you're not ready quite to do one-on-one reading. You can do, if you're astrology, and I think you do it too also, Erin Ashley, sometimes, you can think about a one-way reading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've done email readings a lot, and they're very easy to do. And it's a really great place to start if you find that you're feeling too anxious to get going any other way. And some people just enjoy doing them exclusively. But I do highly recommend that you try other ways of doing readings before you make that conclusion, because sometimes it's just nerves and you find that you really, really love working with people interactively. Okay, great. So I would like, Christina, I need to go run for a quick drink of water. I'd like us to take a quick 2-minute break. I want everyone to start thinking about and setting up their space for this journey we're about to do together, for the Calling Souls to You ceremony. Start thinking about everything that you need to feel really connected. I've got a shawl on that means a lot to me, that helps me feel connected. My mom gave it to me, and I adore her. And I know, Christina, you're wearing ceremonial.
My ceremonial garb.
Yes.
So, I'll entertain everyone. I'll answer some questions in the chat box. You go ahead and get your glass of water, Erin Ashley.
Thank you.
Those of you at home, you get a glass of water. That can be helpful to help, just sort of nourish our system. Let me see. I had someone asking, if you use Skype, they now have integrated a recorder in Skype. Oh, okay, good. Because I was using Call Recorder, which was a an additional thing. And it was always so glitchy. Use the plus sign in the right lower corner and choose record. Oh my God, that's awesome that they're doing that. The recording will be available in the chat for 30 days afterwards, but it isn't video though. Okay, so it must just be audio. That's good. I personally prefer Zoom for everything. Zoom is super affordable, especially, I pretty much exclusively do online readings. I just moved to a small town. I don't know anybody here, but my business is online. So Zoom is awesome for webinars like this or for meetings one-on-one. Let's see. And then we had a question. Can you please talk a bit more about clarification versus providing reassurance? And this is actually would be a great question for Erin Ashley, but clarification. Oh, are you there?
I'm trying to get my cat. My cat snuck into the office, so let me convince her.
Okay. Well, so let me see. From my perspective, clarification would be, say, for instance, I always ask people if they've ever had, and this is in my intake form, have they ever had an astrology reading before? Because some people really want more of the astrology lingo and they want to know about this asteroid or this technique or this progression or whatever. And other people know nothing about the astrology lingo. So I have to really be careful to just tell them the essence of the reading without getting into, this other language, which would be like me, speaking Japanese or something. They wouldn't get it quite. For me, that's part of the clarification piece. Providing reassurance is, often if people are just, they may not understand. For instance, I had a session yesterday with a woman who was kind of a doubter, which is kind of funny. I usually don't get too many of those. But then I told her about, a date I asked her what was going on this date. And that was a significant date for her. But she still had such a hard time wrapping her mind around, how did you know that? Well, astrology,
Yeah.
And so to me, I was just reassuring her that it's okay. I mean, sometimes it is kind of shocking that, fate intervenes in our life. But for me, even though that was an intense moment in her life, we went through how she came through it, because it was like 10 years before. But she found that she actually grew strength because of that. So it's like taking the person, not just from a moment in time, but looking at what was the value of that experience from, a long-term perspective. So that's one answer. I hope that answers the question. Erin, actually, the question was to speak more a little bit about the difference between clarification with a client versus providing reassurance.
Yes. So clarification might be if, for instance, let's say I'm doing a reading for Christina. You're an easy example. And her guides told me that she needed to meditate more. Clarification is me explaining through whatever the guides are telling me how she can apply that into her life, the types of meditation that are most beneficial, how she can structure her day to allow for it, etc. That's clarification. I'm going into more detail, more explanation about the specific message. Reassurance is about speaking to the emotions that someone is having and answering their unspoken or spoken concerns. A lot of times in readings, people will say one thing and their energy is saying another. They're not trying to be deceptive. It's something that's very common in our society to, say one thing and then energetically say another. So we want to answer the deeper energy that they're asking. So if someone says, okay, I don't know how to meditate, the deeper insecurity might be, I feel like I'm not meditating right, and I feel like I should get it right the first time. And so the reassurance is, it's completely normal for you to feel like when you sit down to meditate that you're not doing it right. It's normal to have a lot of thoughts. As you meditate, you want to welcome those thoughts, etc. So that's where I add the reassurance. And the explanation, again, is explaining the process. And they do tend to overlap. So it's not something where you're going to always have a clear line between the explanation and the reassurance. Does that clarify? Does that help? Okay, good.
Okay, it looks like they said thank you. All
Excellent.
right. Well, if you all are about ready, the circle is open, and we would like to take a moment to get into a space of meditation. So, wherever you are, hopefully you're not driving or in any space where you don't need your eyes, but if you can close your eyes, put your hands in a comfortable position, whether that's turned up on your thighs or maybe across your waist, however it feels comfortable for you. And just allow your body to relax in the support of the seat that you're in, knowing that you're fully supported in this lifetime by your guides, angels, and ancestors. And let's just take a moment to ground our feet into the earth. So, just seeing some very strong roots growing from your feet, going way down deep into the core of the Mother Earth, connecting to the ancient energy grid of Gaia. And just allowing those roots to take in the nourishment of the earth, sending that nourishment up from your roots all the way up your feet and legs, your thighs, sending nourishment all the way up to your hips, up your spine, across your shoulders and down your arms, nourishing your neck and skull so that your entire body is illuminated with the crystalline grid of Gaia, Mother Earth. And let's just begin by taking 3 slow, deep breaths. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, filling the lungs completely and holding for just a beat at the very top. And when you're ready, slowly exhaling. And as you do, just releasing any stress or anxiety without knowing it or naming it. And we'll take one more deep breath in. This time seeing your heart chakra opening like a flower, front and back from the heart, radiating peace. And as you exhale, letting that body relax even more. And we'll take one final long, luxurious breath in through the nose. Again, seeing that heart chakra expand front and back from the heart, radiating the light of peace. And as you exhale, again, just allowing the body to relax into a receptive mode. And Erin Ashley, would you like to continue the meditation?
Yes. So now that you're in this relaxed state, allow yourself to continue to feel into your heart center. And with each breath in, allow yourself to welcome the beautiful white light of the divine. With each breath in, you'll fill with white light, and it will touch all parts of your energy. With each breath out, allow yourself to release anything that no longer serves you. And allow yourself to let go of the thoughts, feelings, and expectations about what this is supposed to look like, or what is or is not supposed to happen. Feel yourself filled with trust for yourself and the entire universe. And allow yourself to envision a beautiful staircase in front of you. And welcome whatever images or sounds or feelings arise naturally as you see it. This is a celestial staircase with 10 steps up, and when you reach the top, you will be in an auditorium filled with your future clients, your future customers, the one that you will touch the most through your work. 1, 2, 3. Allow yourself to take these steps with intentions, with an open heart, and with a sense of peace. 4, 5, 6. Feel your energy's vibration rise and rise as you are more and more open to the miracles and transformations that are waiting for you and those you are here to serve. 7, 8, 9. There's only one step ahead of you, and allow yourself to feel the energy of joy, to feel the energy of integrity, of intention of purpose, and of alignment. And whenever you are ready, step onto the 10th step and allow yourself to be transported into the auditorium, the sacred space where your clients are waiting for you. As you enter this space, allow yourself to come into alignment with it. Welcome the sense that you belong here. And if there's any part of you that feels anxious or insecure, let it dissolve away as the images around you and the sensations clarify and come into focus. See yourself surrounded by those who you will most touch. And ask for one to come forward who is a representative of those you will touch. And as this person comes forward, ask them, what is the gift that I am giving you? Welcome their answer with love and gratitude. And welcome the sensations. And notice an angel that's appearing next to you. This angel is here to give you a blessing and an energy attunement. If this feels resonant to you, ask the angel to begin now. The angel will place their hands on your heart and welcome the energy shifts. Let them download and work their way through your body as you surrender and relax. This particular energy shift is all about assisting you in becoming more of who you are inside, of who you know you can be, and who you feel called to be. It will assist you in releasing insecurities and anxieties, and it will allow you to feel lit up and be energetically illuminated to those who you are here to serve. Allow yourself to send this angel the energy of gratitude, of thanksgiving for the blessing that they gave you today. And now, with this new energy, allow yourself to look back at all the souls that you will touch and be fully present with everything you see. Send the energy of love and thanksgiving and gratitude to every single soul that you see in front of you. And allow yourself to receive the energy of love, thanksgiving, and gratitude from every single soul as well. And from your heart, say to the souls that you are here to serve, thank you for choosing me as the person to guide you. I promise to stand in my power and do my best to serve you. I am ready for you, and I am willing to assist you in your transformation. And likely the energy will shift in the room, and you will see new movement as you say those words and energetically align with them. And now, in your heart and in this space, say, I am ready for those who I am here to serve. I choose to do the service freely and with my whole heart. I'm willing to be seen in order to do this work. And I'm willing to create healthy boundaries for all involved. And then send the entire room of people a huge sense of gratitude and thanksgiving once again for all they are giving to you and for opening your eyes to the energy of those that you are here to work with. If there is anything else that feels incomplete, or you have an intuitive urge to connect with a specific soul, take this time to do that and ask them any questions that's on your heart. Or simply share your energy in a way that feels good. And if you have one more question, allow yourself to ask it now, whether it's of the souls or of the angel, so that you can have peace and all your questions answered. And when you're ready, allow yourself to move to the door or wherever your stairs are, and continue to send this sacred place gratitude, knowing that you can come back here and visit or reconnect or ask for more souls if you have a specific offering anytime you wish. And you can return to this space to receive another energy attunement and alignment if you find that you are ready to step into something new or bigger than you've dreamt before. And now that you are at the stairs, there are 10 down just as there are up. And when you reach the bottom, you will allow yourself to feel fully grounded and fully present and fully aware. 10, 9, 8. Allow yourself to slowly go down the stairs, becoming aware of your physical space again. 7, 6, 5. Allow yourself to be aware of your breath and how it moves your body. 4, 3, 2. Allow yourself to be aware of your hands and your feet, of the space around your skin, and whatever surface you are in or on. 1. Allow yourself to put any excess energy from today's work through your feet and back into the energy grid, back into the earth. And then whenever you are ready, open your eyes and resume normal awareness. And as soon as you are in a place of feeling present again, go ahead and put something in the chat box so we can get a feel for where you're at in your process.
Maybe put the number 8.
Ooh, I love that one.
for those who can't really speak or think right now. Oh, Fanny says, I'm happy I stayed. Fanny stayed.
Oh, wonderful, Fanny.
That's great.
I'm
Okay.
so glad you were able to.
Jeanette said, wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, of
Ooh, let us
course.
know if any of you want to share what you saw. I definitely saw
Yes.
a huge auditorium, um, almost like an opera house or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the part with the angel coming to me and putting its hands on me
Mm.
and just upgrading my whole system.
Yes. Yeah, I find that has been so powerful for me because I'm a very, very, very sensitive person, which means I can feel a lot of anxiety if I don't regularly take care of myself. And so anytime I'm doing something new, I definitely do this so that I can get attuned to the energy of people.
Mhm. And let's see, Allie says, thank you for the guided meditation ceremony. Great
Oh,
attuning.
beautiful.
Zora says, my representative told me I'm bringing the gifts of peace and hope. Oh, I love that.
Oh, I like
And Samsung said, wow, I really felt a shift. Gillian said, that was a great tool. Thank you. Robin says, my original and lifelong angel was my guide, never before. Finally,
that.
I'm ready. And Zoe says, I cried. And Leslie said, thank you. Angel put both hands around my physical and heart chakra, then one on my third eye. And Katrina said, my auditorium standing over a cliff and looking over a valley/jungle. Ooh, that's amazing.
Beautiful.
Um, so, yeah, and just take time to let that integrate. And maybe, things might come through your dreams over the next few days. And just get a sense that you're being called to serve, and no matter how much or how little there's someone who can learn from you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Danny said, before you said the angel to touch me, I felt a hand on my heart. Before
Mm.
you said walk up the stairs, I saw a large auditorium full of students.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, and Robin says your
Beautiful.
dog barked and joined mine. I know my dog, she is like so sensitive to the energy, because when something significant happens, she starts with the barking. And Robin says the white light healed them too.
Mm-hmm. That's so
I have to
beautiful.
read one more. Anne says, beautiful experience. I'm in bliss. It was very moving to meet the souls and the angels. I'm bringing the gift of heart openings. At the end, we all merged into one large golden loving space.
I love that. I love that so much, so much. I really appreciate, first off, everyone for being here so far. We're gently going to transition into the next phase, but before we do that, I just want to say thank you so very much for being here, for yourselves and the people you're here to work with. This work is so important, and we talked about this on day one. So if you missed it or you're just joining us today as your first day, you definitely want to go back to day one too, because we talk about why so many people are being called right now. And it is just so wonderful and heartwarming to see so many of you aligning and integrating and attuning to and calling in the people that you're going to work with and assist on their healing path,
And
and committing yourself to the work.
I wanted to add that whenever, I do that ceremony before I do any major
Mhm.
course, I launch a course, and it then puts me in touch with, because you're always so, nervous. Am I gonna get enough people? Will anybody sign up? And da, da, da. And then you do that, and then you realize it's perfect. Whoever is called, however many show up, it's going to be perfect. And so
Yes.
that's just the reassurance. And Rona says, I did a 90-minute reading with a client just before this class, and this is such a beautiful compliment to and confirmation of how my work is evolving.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And Robin says, this whole week has been awesome. Much gratitude. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I just want to check, is everyone mostly grounded? Let me know. Give me a one
Katrina
or a
says,
thumbs up.
we bow to you, and I will
Thank you.
do, just to sort of close the meditation,
Yes.
I like
Thank
to
you.
do one more there.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you
So,
so much. So much. Okay. Wonderful. So
So I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat box the page for the GoPro. Can you say the name of it one more
yeah, the
time? Because I'm
GoPro Professional Psychic Mechanics course.
the professional psychic.
And so this is, if you've loved everything we've done up to this point and you felt like it gave you value and you felt like it gave you insight, then this is how you can go to the next step. This is how you can go to the next level with partnering with myself. And then Christina has some bonuses for you as well. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it right now, and I'm going to pull up a different screen, so I won't see your chats for just a minute as I go through and tell you a little bit more about it. So the Professional Psychic Mechanics course, I've been running this since 2015, maybe 2014. I don't really remember, but definitely 2015. I ran it twice. And this is all about helping you to go pro with your psychic or your energy healing gifts. And in it, I actually include all 4 phases that we've talked about yesterday. And the 4 phases, again, are phase 1 is about your foundations, making sure that you are connected to your spiritual gifts and that you know what you need to know in order to do this with other people. And then the second phase is the systems and technology phase. And I put the second because it does create the space so that you can do this work with ease. Phase 3 is getting 50 practice sessions and 10 testimonials. Some people, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes at the end, people do have 50 testimonials, but that's more of the exception than the rule. Some people just don't feel comfortable sharing, as Christina mentioned, I think it was yesterday. And so this particular course, the purpose of it is to help you step into your unique psychic and energy healing gifts with confidence and ease. Now, something Christina has alluded to that I haven't talked about too much is I spent most of 2014 and 15 dedicated to understanding and helping sensitive people step into their confidence. I actually am writing my dissertation on that right now, and it is something I've studied deeply. So understanding, 1, how our body systems experience confidence, 2, how to align that with our spiritual systems, and then also how to utilize the mind along with the other 2 to create a space where you can really align with who you are with a sense of grounded, healthy, aligned confidence, not ego-driven, but rather this is who I am, this is what I'm here to do, and I'm ready to serve, and I feel good about doing that. Right? And so basically, those who join the Pro Psychic Mechanics course generally go from knowing how to do most of the basics or some of the basics to getting their very first paying clients between 3 and 6 months. So usually, now if you're already in phase 2 or you have some practice people under your belt and you've already done some practice sessions, it can be less. But I'm talking about people who can kind of talk to the guides or know a little bit about their craft, but not get enough to get to do it professionally. If you're in that space, 3 to 6 months. If you already have your practice sessions, it can be a lot less, right? And so that will depend, of course, on how quickly you're called to complete your practice sessions, but you do want to keep that in mind. It doesn't take that long. Now, my commitment to you, if you join any of my programs, is to make this process as easy and as effortless as possible. There may be moments of struggle, but my job is to create a regular experience of ease, right? I make it as simple as possible. I make it as easy as possible. And your commitment, if you decide to join, is to show up for yourself and honor your energy and your intuition and your gifts each week. That's it. I want you to show up, honor yourself. Your intuition will guide you on the exact perfect next steps for you every step of the way. And I, of course, have lots of information so that you can make the easiest decision for you, the best decision for yourself, and your intuition will always get the final word. And so the structure is this is an online course, and there are 13 modules of video lessons. So there are 13 major types of lessons that you will have immediate access to, and you can go at your own pace. This is not something, I have people who signed up last February who are still working through the course. They're honoring their own intuition here. And I've had people go through the entire thing in about a month and a half and get going with their spiritual business. I also have monthly 1-hour group coaching calls for anyone who joins. You can show up with the group, and this is a place where you can celebrate your wins. You can ask your questions. And one thing that I do that's really unique is I give you the opportunity to be the professional and answer one another's questions. I come in with any other insights I have, but the whole point of this program is to get you into feeling like you are a professional. So this is a co-creative coaching call, support call experience. There's also a Facebook community. And so I'm going to, first off, Christina, are there any questions? I had the other, okay, great.
Let's see. I heard that, let's see, my favorite comment was, thank you both so much. I've never had such a profound experience regarding feeling touched by an angel. I mean, that is awesome. We need to save that one, Erin Ashley.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And
no
wonderful.
questions at this point, but let us know if you guys have any questions. So the enrollment is open now. So you want to join the Professional Psychic Mechanics course, and then the enrollment closes next Wednesday,
yes,
February 27. However, are we ready for the bonuses, or are you still telling them?
No, I'm going to tell them what's in it, because
okay.
I'm going to
stay on, because we have some special bonuses if you buy by midnight tonight.
Yes. So phase 1 is foundations. And I talk about in module 1, the spirit guides, the conduit guide connection, and the shamanic guide connection. So I actually teach energy healing the way that I was taught by my own shamanic guide, and then how to do a psychic reading simultaneously. So you have the opportunity to learn both or just one in the foundations phase. Then we go to getting messages from other people's guides. And so I teach you all of the good, healthy things to do, some of which we covered today, in order to get a really good message from other people's guides, all of the alignment exercises, all of the mindset shifts you need to make, etc. Module 3 is the chakra tour for the professional level work. So basically, if you are looking at chakras as a professional, if you're unfamiliar with them, there are 7 major energy centers in your body, and they're called chakras. And so I go over what you need to know as a professional and how it generally appears in readings whenever you're reading for someone else versus whenever you're looking at it for yourself. Then module 4 is ethics. We talked about this today. This is so important. I think that it's not always covered very well, and it's very important to me to have a good conversation about ethics. So I added that in. And then we talk about how to chat with your higher self so that you can more easily come into alignment with doing this work. And module 6 is really important. It's actually about creating contracts with the guides and the universe. And you may not know this, but you have some influence over how you can work with your particular guide. So for instance, at the very beginning, I was really uncomfortable with talking to those who have crossed over. So I had to tell my guides that I was not open or ready to talking to those who have crossed over. If they're dead and they used to be alive, then I would prefer to not talk to them, and please find those sitters someone else to read for them. I put that in my contract because at the time I just didn't want to do it. It made me feel insecure. Module 7 is all about conquering the fear surrounding doing this work. It's normal to feel nervous about it. It's normal to feel anxiety. And so we dedicate an entire in-depth lesson about how to work through the fears and insecurities so that you can be free to do this work and give your light to the world. Module 8, we go into phase 2, systems and scripts. And this is where I give click-by-click tutorials, video tutorials about exactly how to set up your systems with the scripts and systems that I recommend. And I also explain why I recommend the systems that I do. I basically recorded me doing this on my screen, and then my lovely husband, who is wonderful and amazing, edited it so that it flowed and made sense for everyone else, and took out the little things that you don't need to see, like me logging in. He's great. And anyway, it also includes the done for you scripts and everything else. Phase 3 is practice, and I give explicit instructions about exactly how to get your practice sessions, how to get testimonials, including how to set up the systems if there's anything left to do, so that you can get testimonials as you go without feeling insecure about it. And as you go through the phase 3, you are also going to be exploring what your magic is and how it's unique and different from other people's. Everyone has their own gifts, and you want to understand how yours work so that you can explain what you do to people and use your words to further attract the souls who are right for you, right? And then last but not least, I walk you through the process of crafting your first offer and getting your first sale. So I actually give you the exact 3 email script so that you can get your first paying client or customer. Okay.
Love that. So this is really an investment in business building,
Yes.
Not only sharpening your skills as a professional, right? And actually getting those clients. And so let's see, we have a question from Rona. She says, I really like this. And I've been in business as a coach for 9 years. So I'm wondering if this is more of a basic biz development course or really focusing on honing my intuitive spiritual gifts.
Okay.
So you have several offerings, so maybe you can just
this particular, what I have talked about so far is the pro psychic mechanics, and that's more about an intro business. Now you can email me. I have another course that is all about, that we talked about at the beginning. I gave away one spot. It's the Spiritual Mechanic Foundations course, and it covers everything you need in order to really step into your gifts fully. And so you can go ahead and explore that or email me. But for right now, we're mostly focused on the Pro Psychic Mechanics course, and it is an intro business course for people with a spiritual calling who are stepping into their gifts. Yeah, good question.
Okay,
good question.
And so Dawn says, I missed the name of the course EA is talking about now. Yeah. Oh, she said, what is it? Never mind, I found it. Because the course today is the Pro Psychic Mechanic. Because, this whole week was all about going pro.
Yes.
For some of those of you who are still just in the intro phases of like figuring out your gifts, that's the psychic mechanics course, right? Is that what you said, Erin Ashley?
Yes. So if they're just in the very beginning psychic mechanics course, if they really want to go in depth, they want to do this. If you have any questions about which course is right for you, email me. That's what I'm here for.
What's your email address? I'll put it here in the chat box.
Yeah. EA@spiritualmechanic.com. EA@spiritualmechanic.com. Because I realize, everyone's in their unique spot. That's why I have a variety of different course offerings. But today we're going to focus on the Pro Psychic Mechanics course. Mm-hmm. And if you do have a question about which one is right for you, that's what email is for. I'll always level with you and tell you what I think. Okay.
So let's get to our bonuses.
Yes.
Is that cool, Erin Ashley?
Yes, it is.
So those of you that are ready to go pro on the Professional Psychics Mechanics course, again, enrollment is open now. Enrollment is fully open until next Wednesday, 2/27. I put the link in the chat box. Go Pro Spirit now. I will throw in, for anyone who purchases by midnight tonight, you'll get my chart reading video course. It is a 5-video course on my secrets to chart reading, because when you first start reading an astrology chart, it's overwhelming. So I am focusing in on the 5 keys to unlocking the chart's radiance. So the things that I go to first, a step-by-step method with 5 videos, 5 PDFs, and that is valued at $147. You get it free as a bonus if you purchase the GoPro by midnight tonight. Plus, if you do the pay in full, because she's got 3 different payment options, if you do the pay in full, I'll also throw in a 1-hour Soul Destiny astrology reading from me. That's $180 value. If you choose the pay in full option. Plus, you also get the chart reading course. So that is over $300 worth in bonuses from me. So,
yes.
What else you got, Erin Ashley?
What else do I got? So I also will add in, for anyone who signs up through the enrollment deadline, the Spiritual Mechanic Foundations course. This includes quite a bit. I'm going to see if I can't share my screen, Christina, so I
Yeah,
can
I
show
think
people
you
what
should
this
be
looks
able
like.
to. Does it say
So
share?
yes, let me just make sure that I'm not sharing anything on my screen that I don't want people to see. Okay. So let me exit out of this, and then I will go ahead and click the share. Okay, there we go. Okay, can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes.
It looks like it's there. Okay. So the Spiritual Mechanic Foundations course, I've mentioned a couple times, if you've been paying really close attention, it's 12 courses in one. So the Pro Psychic Mechanics course is what you'll get, but you'll also get this bonus. So it's actually, let me go to the other page. There we go. So you have the Psychic 101, Empath 101, Reincarnation 201, Forgiveness, Integrating Parts of Self, Psychic 201, this is where you learn psychic, self-defense, etc. Guides and helper energies and how to connect with them, chakras and auras, living as spirit. This is a very important thing to learn how to do day to day. I consider it a 300 level course because it does require a little bit of practice before you get there. And energy healing, how to do it for yourself, and then all the prep work. So if you know that you're called to do this work professionally, but you're just in the baby stages, you want to drop in, you want to join us now because you have this as a bonus, right? And then I'm also going to show you the Pro Psychic Mechanics course. This has the bonuses that are also included are the Reading and Healing Vault. This is where I share audios that I have permission to share of readings I've done before and examples of healing sessions I've done before, as well as email readings that I've done before. And again, I got permission. I actually did a couple of these for free so I could use them in this training. And I put them in here because a lot of people would ask, but what's it supposed to sound like or what's it supposed to look like? So I show you exactly what it sounds like and looks like whenever I'm doing it. And you can see the variation from reading to reading and healing to healing. My husband is a web developer and he created for us a website workshop, which is an overview.
Wow. Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds like a good bonus.
It is. It shows you exactly how you can quickly and painlessly set up a website. It shows you the basics of the WordPress. That's what he uses generally so that you can do that. And he also explains some of the terminology. So if you do need to ask for help or hire someone, you know what terminology to use. And you know exactly what you're actually asking for, which is so helpful. And I've mentioned before, we have live monthly support calls. And we have an exclusive Facebook group. And the other thing is once you do complete it, once you have 10 testimonials and you show me 10 testimonials, there's something really cool that I have, and I'm going to show you right now. I meant to have this out sooner, but I actually have graduation certificates for people. Yeah. So
Everyone
you can
loves a certificate.
Yeah. So it's really pretty and it glitters. It's shimmery.
Can you show that again? Because I was talking when you had it. Hold it up there and let me spotlight the video on it. Okay. Yay. Oh, that's so much fun.
Yes. And basically, it's because I really, really stand behind my work. I know that when you go through this training, you'll be able to provide really high quality sessions for other people because we do talk about ethics and we do talk about the things that I see people kind of skip over. And you'll already have 10 testimonials from people. And so that's one of the bonuses that I include. So if you join at any point by the 27th, you will get all of that. Now, the other thing is just for those who are honoring their intuition. For those of you who really feel the call and you feel that resonance and you know this is right for you, I want to make sure that I give you a special treat. This course is normally $1,000. It just is. And it will be by tomorrow again. This is for those, again, who are honoring their intuition. For right now, you can get it for $100 off. And you can join the payment plan with one of the monthly payment plans knocked off as well. So you can join for $100 off, either $8.97 or 11 payments of $97. Both will work. And you will get, if you pay in full, Christina will give you a reading. Which is so helpful. And then if you need the payment plan, that's okay. That's why we made it. But you will get everything but the reading because we want to make sure that we honor Christina's energy as well.
And so this $100 off, that's good until midnight tonight. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's correct. Midnight tonight. Yes. And so now I think that's everything. Does anyone have questions? I'll go ahead and quit sharing my screen for now. If I can figure out, come on, where's my little thing?
Scroll up to the top, maybe view options.
Oh, I see it. I moved it and then I forgot that I moved it.
It's always kind of crazy.
Okay. Okay, how do I end the share?
While you do that, I'll see if there are anything in the chat box. Let us know if you have any questions. You can chat us. You can put it in the Q&A. I think I already answered those questions. I'll look on Facebook, see if there is anything there for us.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to end the sharing. Do you know how to do that?
Sometimes it's tricky. You go up at the top, scroll to the very top, and there should be something that appears that says,
yeah, I clicked pause share. Do I hit pause share? Or no, stop share. I see it. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Well, I got something from Ignacio who said, thank you so much for sharing all this information, the wonderful guided meditation. If it aligns with everyone's will, may those whose life purpose includes being healed by you find you and be healed by you as soon as they are ready. May you all be blessed, protected, and guided by your higher self. And he has a prayer sign. Thank you so much for that prayer, Ignacio. We know that the right people that this is right for. And again, you have until the 27th for this round, which is next Wednesday. Erin Ashley wants to make sure that she can handle, the amount of people in the course at any one time, so she can give everyone their time and, enough of her time and her energy on her monthly calls. And so, if you need some time to think about it, you can think about it. Those of you who are hearing the call, listen to your intuition, and we've got those special bonuses for those of you that really want to jump in and join Erin Ashley.
Wonderful. And thank you.
And Dawn says she's signed up for the Spiritual Foundation course.
She is. And Dawn, if you wanted to upgrade, it was a recent enough purchase, just email me and we'll work out upgrade details. But email me at EA. You know my email address. You've emailed me before. But it was a recent enough purchase from you that I'm happy to discuss this with you. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. So let's see. Rona says she's on the website now. She's going to check it out. Thank you so much. Definitely email Erin Ashley if you have any questions, because she's got, these 3 different offerings. This is the one, though, that, don't wait anymore. This is the time. And Saturn in Capricorn is saying, make your dreams real. And, I'll just have to say, we can spend, I even spent years just taking a bunch of energy clearing and astrology workshops and courses. And it was fun and it was enjoyable. But there was a point, actually, Spirit intervened and said, you have to start earning a living. And actually what happened was like the floor fell out from under me, and I had to earn a living on it. And I just realized, and I made that internal commitment to myself. So if you're ready to make that commitment to yourself and step into a new phase of going pro, then this is the course for you. There are so many business building courses out there, but this is the only one that really speaks to people like us, to empaths, to the mystical entrepreneurs, and to those of you that are following a sacred calling. This is the one.
Yeah, and I'm proud of that, because we turn marketing from something that's scary, but as a way to actually call in people who are appropriate for you. And it's something we talk about in the phase 3 and 4 whenever you're transitioning into launching, because it's so important. As you do this work, you have to have a healthy relationship with money. You have to have a healthy relationship with marketing. You have to have an aligned relationship with marketing. You can't use sleazy techniques. It's not going to feel good. And it's okay to use marketing. You don't have to hide under a bush and wait for people to find you whenever you're in hiding. So that's not necessarily healthy either. So we talk about that balance and how to do that in a way that calls to you and is honest and authentic and serves you and your clients.
And Rona says, amen, amen, amen. And
Yes.
with that prayer, the series is complete. We will have the recordings up on our YouTube station. Make sure you're signed up to get your PDF. If you still want to catch up on all this week's Go Pro series, again, you have until next Wednesday to join us. Reach out to either of us if you have any questions. We really hope that you will make this real commitment to yourself to share your gifts for the world, to the world, and make it a living, make it that right livelihood that really is your divine right. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Erin Ashley, for letting me be part of this experience. This is the first time we did a launch together, and it's not going to be the last. I loved it. So much fun.
This was so easy and fun and effortless, and I really appreciated that. So, and you've been just wonderful, Christina. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's totally my pleasure. So to everyone, namaste, aloha, so much love. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.